Welcome to the video. We are on day 5 of transplant recovery, hair transplant recovery that is, you probably worked out from the title. And it's soaking wet because on day 5 is the first day that I'm allowed to wash it. But obviously I'm not allowed to touch it. I have to let it air dry. I can't, you know, literally can't put my fingers on it at all still. But my God, it felt good to wash it because it's been, well, I washed it on the day. I had it done, so it's been 6 days since I washed my hair, so it was getting to the point the scabs and stuff were itching, but then my whole head was itching. It wasn't very nice, but yeah, it's done now, and none of the hair fell out, which is a relief because pouring the water on, or Amber poured the water on for me, and you think, oh, just imagine pouring it on and just seeing all the transplanted hairs falling down my face, which would have been gutting, but no, it's all stayed intact, and there's still scabs on there and stuff, which is why it's still so dark. But yeah, that was a relief, wasn't it? They didn't all fall out. Yeah. Okay, so fast forward a little bit, and we're now on day 10 of the transplant recovery, and as you can see, it's actually getting quite long. The scabs are really starting to fall off now because I've washed it, I think, 3 times. And so the scabs are really starting to fall off. It's now feeling a lot softer. Before, where it was still really scabby and there was blood on there, it was quite sharp and spiky, but it's now getting a lot softer. Itching is still really tough. I just want to get in there, but I can't, obviously. I still can't touch. I mean, I am lightly touching it to see what it feels like because it's quite satisfying. But, you know, there's no issue so far. As I said, I was still panicking that when I'm pouring the water on my hair to wash it, that all of a sudden I'm going to see hairs falling down my face. But I've had none of that. And yeah, I've even had a little bit of a haircut. So I've faded in the side a little bit. It still looks like a mushroom, but I've faded it in a little bit to try and make it more presentable so I can actually go outside, which I've now done. So I've been outside a little bit, and I've been able to just sort of pull my fringe down over it so I don't scare the kids when I'm out and about. But yeah, so really there's no further developments other than the fact that it's getting a bit longer and the scabs are slowly falling off, and just looking forward to the point which is in 4 days. So on day 14 I'll be able to properly wash it. I can really get those scabs out there and get my fingers through my hair, and then hopefully be able to sort of make more of an effort with it and style it so that no one's going to actually know that I've had a hair transplant. If I have my fringe down, no one will actually know that I've had one until, you know, it starts growing through and I can properly style it and take the most of it and make the most of it. But you never know how long that's going to be. They say that your hair can start growing through any time between 4 months and a year, so a big window. But I guess everybody's hair grows differently. You don't know how well it's going to take, how thick it's going to be, etc. It really is a little bit of a guessing game. I'm hoping that because I had good donor hair around the side of my head, that you know, I'm going to have nice thick hair, and it's going to grow through really quick because my hair grows fast anyway, and as you can see already it's growing through. But this will eventually fall out, this hair that you can see here, and then new hair will come through. But no, that's the update. Really pleased still, yeah, can't wait for it to start coming through. Now, a further bit of information I wanted to share with you, which is the title of the video, is the difference between FUE hair transplant and PRP. So PRP for me is actually the sort of second phase of the treatment, and PRP stands for platelet rich plasma, I think. And what that is that's where it's a procedure to try and increase the blood flow to your hair in order for it to grow thicker, because that's why, or this is what I'm told, why your hair thins and falls out and stops growing, is because there's a lack of blood flow there, which is caused by testosterone, which is why you see guys going bald and not necessarily women going bald. So the PRP is a procedure where they take blood out of your arm, which for me, I'm not scared of needles, but that would be definitely a point at which I'm gonna pass out. But anyway, they take the blood out your arm and they put it in a test tube, and then they put it in something called a centrifuge, which basically spins the test tube really, really fast, and what will happen is your blood will then separate. And they'll take the platelet-rich plasma out of the test tube, and they will actually inject it into your head. So for me, I'm actually having it in my crown, so I'm slightly thinning in my crown. And the reason they haven't done a hair transplant, an FUE hair transplant, is because you need space to do that. So if it is that you have hair there, but it's just thin, remember I told you in a few videos ago that each hair graft can produce multiple hairs. Some may be producing 1, 2, 3, etc. And so if there is a hair graft there, but it's just not producing enough hairs, they can't do an FUE hair transplant because there's nowhere for them to put the grafts. So PRP in that instance might be the best thing. So if you've just got like a thin fringe, it might be that you need a hair transplant, yeah. But PRP might be the best first option because it's a hell of a lot cheaper and might thicken it up to the point in which you're happy. So for me, I'm having PRP put into the fringe because that's going to help increase the hair transplant to grow back thick and full. Not grow back because it's not there, but to grow thick and full. And having the PRP on my crown to try and thicken up that area where it's a little bit thin. So this is why you'll see loads of people saying on other videos that you should do a consultation. I don't want to tell you what to do, but the reason why you might benefit from a consultation is because they will maybe be able to tell you whether you need a transplant or whether something like PRP would be the best option. Now I'm quite cynical, so I'm probably going to think they're going to try and tell you to do the most expensive option anyway, because it's a business for them at the end of the day. But if they genuinely can't do a hair transplant, I'd like to think they'll tell you that PRP is your best option. So PRP obviously doesn't work straight away. I'm going to have a couple of sessions. So my first session is going to be booked in around the 6-week mark from when I had the hair transplant. So that's when they'll inject the fringe as well as my crown. And then another injection will need to be done, I think 4 weeks after that. And then even at that point, I shouldn't really see much of a change. I think it's more like 6 months down the line is where I should start to see it thickening up. If I'm honest, I'm a bit skeptical about the PRP. I mean, I've been online and seen some of the results, but obviously you can make up results online. So I don't know, I'm just a bit skeptical about it, but I'm gonna have it done because it was included in my procedure, and we'll see how it goes. So as always, if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer all of them. No question is too big or too small or too stupid. And I'll give another update in a few days time when I've washed it. So on day 14, as I say, I can properly wash it, and I'll give an update then and show you how it is looking and how it feels. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.